Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week we'll be talking about the pros and cons of social media in a relationship. Enjoy the show.
Hey YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying our videos. Like this video as well and comment below to let us know you're one of the 5 people watching and listening.
Yeah, YouTube channel's growing. One person new, I think.
One person at a time.
There we go. People like to watch us. I did know that a lot of people did watch. They went and watched last week's because they enjoyed Megan.
Oh, good.
They're fans of her, so they want to go watch her, or actually watch her because she's engaging in person. So, and if you didn't check out that episode, that was a fun episode that we did.
Cool. All right, now to the episode. Now, like when you cut into the episode.
No, this is what I was saying. I guess that's only for YouTube because nobody in our actual episode listens to it, does it? So
true. But anyways, Adam,
yes.
Non-sexual question for you tonight. Are you wearing sweatpants or jeans?
I don't know how I would take that as a sexual question.
Well, gray sweatpants. Those
that whole thing is such a. I've never understood that. I figure like if I'm wearing sweatpants, I'm wearing boxer briefs underneath, anyways. But I don't own sweatpants. I own jeans, or I'm not wearing pants. Like that's basically it. So the answer is that I'm not wearing pants. I'm never wearing pants when we record.
Lovely. Okay, that was not the answer.
I have my black t-shirt on and no pants.
That was not the answer I was expecting, because I was going to lead in with, is your fly down? But since you're not wearing pants, then
yes, there's no fly. So thankfully, yes, which would have been even worse. Because yes, I went on. If I had no pants, I went on a date 2 weeks ago before we recorded with Megan last week. I went on a date to a small bar restaurant in fucking middle of fucking nowhere, fucking Vermont. It was about a half hour away. And it was someone I'd met on Tinder. We've been chatting for Bumble. We've been chatting for a while. And she seems interesting. And finally she was like, would you like to get together? And we planned and finally came up with this idea of meeting there. And we get there. I park, and as I'm about to get in my car, she comes up and knocks on my window, scares the hell out of me for a second because she saw the Florida plate, and so she knew it was my car because we're in Vermont.
Okay, that was like bold to just knock on a stranger's window.
She's like, I figured who else would it be? And then we walk in, sit at the bar, have a good time. I do. This is funny. I sit down, I order a vodka Red Bull double because it's just kind of my double tall. It's easy, good starting drink. And the girl's like, the girl behind the bar, and I say girl because like I did not think she was 21, but she definitely she must have been. But she says we can't do doubles. I was wondering, is that a Vermont thing? Is that a it's like in Utah they can't do that? Is that and she said no, it's just our owner won't let us do it. It's just
all right.
So I should have ordered just a normal single tall because then it would have been fine, but I didn't. I was like, well, can I get a shot with my drink? She goes, of course. I was like, what's the fucking why can't you just anyways. So she brings me my drink and I watch her pour it and she pours strong. Like that first drink was like a triple. So I was like, oh, I should have just asked for a normal drink instead of going for the double initially. I only had that drink. That was the only drink I had, was that drink and the shot over the 4.5 hours that we were there. Because that was enough. I was like that. I haven't had alcohol in months. So that was enough for me. But yeah, we had met her. We had a great time and talked. She's my age. She works in the forestry division for the U.S. government, which is kind of cool.
Your age, though, that's a game changer. You never.
I occasionally go out.
It's not often though.
Yeah, it's not often.
Younger, yeah.
And but she was really fun to talk to, and had been divorced for a few years, and we talked about all, she'd had roommates come in, had some interesting roommate stories, some terrible roommate stories too, and everything. And so we kind of shared roommate stories, and then we left and called it a night. And after about 4 hours, and I drove home, and I was like, oh, that was fun. We planned on maybe meeting up a second time. And then I got home and came upstairs, went to take my pants off at the door like I normally would, and realized that my fly had been down the entire time.
It wasn't until you got home. You never noticed. Did you go to the bathroom during the date?
No, I didn't pee at all. I didn't have to pee.
Because you would have caught yourself then.
I absolutely would have figured it out then. Yeah. But no, it wasn't until I got home and went to take my pants off, and then I was like, well, my zippers was already down. Like I realized that it was full down, not just like half down. It was like full fucking, all the way down.
But you were wearing underwear though, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, but I mean, you could still, I guess if you looked at my crotch, you would just see the jeans were gaping open at the crotch, like the fly was very visibly down apparently. So I mentioned her, I texted her, and I was like, I had a good time. I just got home. And next time I'll make sure my fly isn't down. Hopefully you didn't notice. And she goes, oh, I noticed that. And I thought it was something to do with your podcast. So I didn't say anything.
Okay. But like, how could that even remotely be something we would never jackass challenge you, go on a date with your fly down, like a bingo card of stupid shit to do on a date. We wouldn't do that? Yeah,
I really don't know if that. I keep forgetting to ask her. I keep meaning to be like, by the way, what did you mean by that? Because I've still been texting with her, and I completely. But I think it must have been that she must have assumed that we were just like that show, like the idiot jokers or whatever they are, the
impractical jokers,
imbecile jokers. Yeah, those terrible.
See, I like terrible. Them and you don't. Yeah.
Oh, they're fucking awful. Anything.
Oh no, not a rant. No.
And listen, any type of thing that you're like, this is comedy, and it's actually making normal people who don't know what's going on uncomfortable, I am not okay with. I just feel like that is not comedy. If you're just gonna make random people feel uncomfortable by saying weird shit, that's just not comedy, and those guys are not funny. But anyways, no, yeah. Can you imagine if we had a podcast like that where it was just like, what dating pranks are we gonna do today?
I would do nothing. It would be so boring because
now it would be. Would have to have you and Master and Nun and be like, all right, next time you're in bed with Master and Nun, you'll have to do this thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, no.
But so that's all I can think is that she's never listened to the podcast. She's not really, I don't feel like she's like a very social media type person or podcast type person, but I guess just assumed that I was doing that for content, maybe? I don't know. So I'm not really sure.
What kind of interesting content?
Yeah, I went on a date with my fly down, and did she notice? Or was I really don't know. So I do have to revisit that with her. But that was it, yeah. And so then we made plans for a second date to go out last night. She suggested going for a walk. And
your favorite?
Yeah, I know. Accidental hiking is always my favorite thing. And I was like, oh, that might be nice. And then we eventually changed that to lunch, and then I eventually just randomly canceled. So.
Why'd you cancel?
I just wasn't feeling like leaving the house yesterday. And
I mean, a walk in Vermont in the winter does not sound appealing whatsoever to begin with. So I'm not surprised that failed. But
it was like 50 degrees. So it'd be refreshing out. It wouldn't be bad. And, it was actually pretty decent weather. But then we just turned it into lunch. And then I was just like, oh, the effort of going to lunch, the effort of all of this was too much. I mean, I haven't.
Then you shouldn't be dating.
I know. That's what I've decided is I'm not going to go on any more dates while I'm here.
Okay.
I'm going to be here for probably another month, and then I'm leaving. So I'm not going to go on any more dates. It's just not worth it. But I did, I canceled because I realized I haven't actually left this place now since that date. That was Saturday night.
Oh God!
So I haven't left the my suicide shack since last
compound.
Saturday. Yeah, so
the jail cell.
It's 9 days, 10 days now, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I really just haven't had no desire to. So I need to go grocery shopping because I'm running low, but that's about it. And so that was my date. So I've been on one date in how many months now, and I fucking go with my fly down all the way. That's just. I was like,
so note to everyone, sweatpants. No, sweatpants.
Yeah, wear sweatpants. Just check your fly, I guess. It was because I was running late because my head was unshaved, and I was like, I need to shave my head, and I need to like if I'm gonna feel like a human being, I need to like really like do some maintenance. And so I did that, and I told her I was gonna be late, but I was about a half hour late, so I was running late. And so, like, I was throwing my pants on last.
But how do you forget that? Like, how many times have you put on your pants in your life and you've forgotten to zip up the zipper?
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, so because I have these boots that I have to wear in the fucking snow, I have a whole thing.
Vermont complaining. That's where it's happening right now.
Twice since I've been here, I have put my socks on, but like, oh, I gotta put my boots on. Put my boots on without putting my pants on, like forgetting. Yeah. And then been like, oh fuck, I gotta put pants on, so I gotta unlace the boots and like, yeah, because it's a whole endeavor because these boots are like go up the ankle and all that. So now I have to make sure I put my pants on, but I don't put them all the way on because in order to get the boots on, and they're tight, I have to like be able to stretch down and like it's all a bunch of maneuvering. I'm a fat guy, and so what happened is I had the pants, the jeans were up around my butt, but just enough for me to put my boots on. And then I put my boots on, and then I went to like button and put my belt on, and just somehow never zipped up, like, and then just walked out the door. I don't know. I'm an adult.
You didn't feel a difference?
No. Yeah, I know. Because I had a jacket on too, so like everything was covered until I got to the restaurant.
And unzipped the jacket, and then
well, it was a hoodie. It was my Superman hoodie, which so da makes.
You wore that as well on a date? What the fuck is wrong? I guess you don't have options.
Yeah, I had my black trench coat, but I tore the buttons on it. Recording.
We need to get this man some new clothes.
Where was I? Oh no! When I went to Burlington and I was trying to walk in the snow, I had my hands in my pockets and I pulled it too tight and tore one of the buttons, so now it won't button all the way. So then, yeah. Anyway, it's very sad. I know. My life.
I have no words.
I know.
No words.
I know. It's terrible.
Upgrade your life, please.
I know I need to. So I am probably going to Portland this weekend, by the way.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, because my ex, the eccentric, remember her? Yes. She lives in Portland, Oregon right now.
And she's flying to Portland, Maine?
She's flying to Boston because she's thinking of moving to New England in a couple months, and so she wants to look around at places. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to come meet me like just while I'm in one of these areas?" And she was in Boston or Portland, and I was like, "I'd rather go to Portland." So
well, yeah, because you were gonna go to Boston for Christmas or something.
Yeah, and I just don't want to. Yeah, it's Portland, Maine. I have it should be more fun. So I'm probably I booked a hotel, but there's a good chance that Friday morning I'll wake up and decide I want to cancel anyway. So I told her that.
Can you fucking stop with your canceling, please?
I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. Is really what it is.
Yeah, but once you get out, you'll want to be out.
It's true.
So get the
once I get to
it's also because you've been stuck inside for 9 days that you're a hermit at this point. So why bother? But once you get out, that'll change.
Didn't we talk about me going shining crazy, like shining level crazy? I think
it's happening. It's already happening.
Slowly happening. It is. It's getting there. Because I know that when I get to Portland, I got a hotel, so I'm downtown Portland, so I can actually walk out and go to the bars and not have to like worry about driving and stuff like that. That I'll have a good time.
Portland's a great city too.
But driving the 2.5 hours to get there just seems like insurmountable right now. I'm like, there is a chance that Friday. There is a chance that Friday, when this episode comes out, that I'm going to wake up in the morning and cancel my hotel. But we shall see.
Absolutely not. We won't allow you to do that. No.
Oh, we'll see. I'm sure people will be checking in. Did you go to Portland? You can check on my Instagram. If you're listening to this episode during that weekend, you can see on my.
How would we know? You literally post just selfies and photos of other people. How would they know that you're?
I guess I don't use my story. I occasionally post on my story, but not very often. Yeah.
You provide updates like I do when I travel.
I curate my life, is what it is. I curate what I post.
No, the shit that you posted the other day of your face and whatever was kind of scary and creepy. And I was like,
that was last night.
I was like, why are you posting that? What the fuck? I like looked at my phone and got all freaked out.
Did I tell you that I felt like I was going crazy? Like I told you, I felt like I was.
That shit shows in the photo, though, dude.
I was recording. I was taking like a bunch of photos of myself with like looking insane, and yeah, it was. That was my.
The shining moment happened yesterday.
It happened yesterday.
Realizing it now.
It's just it's slowly happening. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my life.
Well, let's take a break so Adam can recoup, and we'll be right back.
And Sarah, so what's been going on with you? Like, what is going on in your life now?
I don't think I've been going crazy like you. I'm still here in Medellin. I'm at a co-working space. The audio sucks here. Everybody's here in this co-working space at 7:30 at night. I don't understand. But I mean, things as far as adventures and that goes, I mean, I'm having a blast still. Yesterday I went paragliding and thought I was gonna throw up midair and was like, where will the vomit go? Will it go on this house or the road if I throw up in the sky?
Oh, that's a good point. How high up? How high up do you go in those things?
Honestly, I don't know, but from where I'm at now to where we went paragliding, I mean, the drive was just straight up the fucking mountain. And then when we parked, we had to walk straight up too. So I think the elevation plus just the motion sickness is what fucked me up. But yeah, I have no idea how high we are. I think the elevation here is around 2,000 feet above sea level already. Don't quote me on that. And then going up to the top of the mountain, then, you know.
And so you weren't motion sick the whole time, just like as you were trying to get come down. Is that what it was as you were landing?
Well, because it was a beautiful day, but because the wind was cutting so much, it just you just are constantly like just being maneuvered slightly that it just fucked me up. And I was not the only one. I mean, the people that I went on the tour with, we were all fucked up too. And then people in another group were feeling like they were gonna vomit. So I was not alone in that. But the guy looked at me and he was like, "Are you doing okay?" I was like, "No, I'm really not." He goes, "Okay, we'll bring it back around." And then he switched to video. So the last video I have of me on the fucking paragliding thing, I was like breathing it out. He's like, "Just keep breathing." I was like, "I feel like I'm gonna die and throw up as I land. Oh God, I don't want to be that person who like runs in my stuff all attached to me and vomit," because they had these massive trash cans, and I was thinking maybe that's what that's for, is for people who vomit, but probably not. I don't know.
So when you say switch to video, did they have? I saw your videos. You had a selfie stick or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I had a GoPro, and then it was so the GoPro was attached to me, so I couldn't drop it in and whatever.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Sure, fuck. There's no way in hell I'm just gonna free ball holding a GoPro on a paraglide. No, fuck no. But yeah, so then he would just change, occasionally he would change the buttons around to make it take photos or videos. But there was at one point when I was starting to feel sick, I was like, "Turn this fucking thing off. Don't get me on camera anymore. I'm fucking
I really
done."
wanted to see that on camera like that, just to watch it. That would have been funny.
I don't want to post the one of me huffing and puffing
please,
because
please,
I know that it was so tragic. I watched it today and I felt bad for myself. But anyway, so yeah, it was fun. It took me about an hour to not feel sick anymore, and then I think the rest of the day I just chilled and did nothing. But that was fun. And then we all took a day trip, our group of like 14 people, to this town called Guatapé, which is a 2-hour drive away. So we spent the whole day doing that. But yeah, besides all of those travels, I mean, Master of None and I are good. We play Wordle every day and check who beat who, even though he's better at word games, so he typically beats me. But we did tie today. And I think the only interesting thing that has happened since being here has actually been recent, that I had an ex-boyfriend reach out to me via Facebook message when I first got to Colombia. But you know me, I'm never on Facebook, so I didn't fucking see the message. And then I got on my laptop and saw, a notification. I was like, "Oh, he messaged me. That's weird." And I like, before I responded to his message, I scrolled up through all the other messages to see when was the last time I interacted with him, which was probably when I first moved to Nashville. It had to be 3 or 4 years ago. Like, damn, I have not talked to him in a really long time. And we used to be really close friends, and then we dated for 3 years and then tried to get back together, which didn't work out, and blah, blah, blah. But so he messaged me and was asking me if I was still living in Nashville. And I said, yes. And then he said he was going to be in town for a friend's wedding, who I know the friend he's talking about. And if I wanted to meet up for coffee or lunch while he came into town, but he didn't know when the wedding was. So I was like, let me know when the date arrives and I can figure that out. But I immediately was like, yeah, I don't think, as I was saying yes to my ex, I kept thinking, I don't think Master of None's going to have an issue with this, because why would he? He's talked about running into his exes and having coffee with one of his exes that he dated in high school before. And I think he was in a relationship while that happened too. So I was telling people in the group or in my group that I'm traveling with about it, and they're like, "How does your boyfriend feel about it?" And I was like, "I don't think he's gonna care." They're like, "Wait, you didn't ask him?" Like, I don't think he's gonna care though. I mean, I know where I'm sleeping at the end of the night. It's in our fucking apartment. I think it's fine. And trust me, I tried to get back together with my ex a million years ago, and we know it ain't gonna work out. So I think we're good. But I did.
Plus, you actually have one of your exes living in your apartment maybe your apartment
that is
building.
so true. You're right.
And he doesn't care about that. So yeah, I don't think
he
he's
thinks
gonna
that's
care.
funny. Yeah, he thinks the gentleman living in my building is funny. So yeah, he does not give a fuck. But I messaged him anyways and asked him. I said, "Hey, you know, so and so messaged me. Would you want to meet up or whatever?" And he was like, "Hell no, I don't know him. You have the relationship with him, you know. Why would I go and just sit there awkwardly? I don't want to be there." He goes, "No." He's like, "If my ex, insert her name, you know, invited me out for coffee again, and we've met up for coffee since we broke up, he was like, I would go if she was in town and blah, blah, blah." So he's like, "No, you should go." Like, okay, cool.
See, I know that I knew he was going to say that he would,
right.
but like, I would kind of want my other like significant other to go just to be like, hey, we're a unit now, like, but also it gives you an excuse to leave, and like, so you can catch up, and then also like, you'll be done when you're done, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's why I think meeting up for coffee is probably better than meeting up for lunch. But then again, I don't know, because you could spend a long time
All right, coffee can, yeah.
Coffee can easily take longer too. So I don't know, but I was thinking if my ex brings a girl that he's dating, which I don't know because he never posts on social media and I forget that he exists. Like all of my exes just do not post on social media whatsoever, which I also think is funny. All four of my significant, well, yeah, like all four of them just have never really posted or had social media in their lives. So I forget that they exist sometimes.
This isn't the ex with the giant forehead, is it?
That's not an X. Okay, that's not an X. Let's talk about that for a second. I love how you segue that after I told you this story. How the fuck did I end up telling you this story about the guy with the giant forehead? That's not me saying it about him. That's you saying.
Oh no, he has a fucking giant forehead. Like he has not a 5 head. It's like a 14 head. Like it is.
You're so mean.
He does. I'm not like it's just. I'm sorry.
What was I telling you? Oh, because we were talking.
Like, I have a shaved head, and my forehead is still smaller than his. Like that's how crazy it is.
Damn. No, I think I was talking about a bar in Orlando or a date that I was really proud of because I had the moves or whatever. And then I wrote a blog post about him.
That's what it was.
Was it about writing a blog post?
You wrote a blog post about him because you guys ghosted each other and then went back out again after that.
And then I wrote this savage post being like, "Oh, well, I think I dick shamed in that. That was 6 years ago. I dick shamed in it. I was just really shitty in there, but I did not enjoy the fact that he was a head pusher. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about head pushers, and he was a head pusher. And I said, "No, I'm not doing this." He's like, "Oh, you're not going to put out." And then we went on the quest to try to find what this guy looked like, and I found him. And then Adam lost his shit. It was like, "Oh my God, you dated this guy?" And
we pulled up his Facebook profile, and like I had to scroll like 14 times to get just get past the forehead. Like it was like 14, just scroll. Oh, there's his eyes. Like that's how tall his forehead was in the profile photo. It was crazy. That guy has a giant forehead.
As a head pusher too. He's a head pusher,
which we know is a garbage behavior. So that's okay.
But no, not an ex I was referring to of people who don't use social media. But
okay, which ties into this episode pretty well too, I think.
Yeah, but overall, I don't know where we're ending with this story, but yeah, I'm gonna meet up with my ex maybe sometime this summer. Who fucking knows when the wedding is, but
right.
Yeah, I never hear from my exes, and then I all of a sudden hear from my exes, and I'm like, "Oh, you exist, cool."
Speaking of exes and weddings. My ex just got married. Like, I completely forgot to put that on the agenda. But yes, it just happened this weekend. My ex, she was before we started recording the podcast. It was the ex that I had that we were in a relationship. The one who threw me the surprise party when I got back from Iceland.
Your 40th that you were dying after flying in.
And I was so very sweet. But she was the one that had a lot of like issues because everybody kept approaching her, actually, which also ties into this episode too. Everybody kept it does because everybody kept approaching, like, would approach her in the world. Oh, you're Avitable's girlfriend. Oh, it's too bad you're not a redhead. Or, oh, when you turn 25, looks like you guys will be over, and things like that. Like, just because of my social media presence and my content and like in the jokes I would tell on stage. And so eventually she just didn't really like who she saw in the mirror because of like all of this stuff. And she had shitty friends. She had her wolf pack of girlfriends are all garbage. But
you've mentioned her before, yeah, and
yeah, I've
used
talked about
this
her before.
phrase
Like,
wolf pack. Yeah,
well, because
yeah.
they were like, well, how come they would say things to her like, how come he's always posting photos on Instagram with all these hot, or on Facebook with all these, hot women? And she's like, I'm in the photo too.
Damn.
Yeah, like she and I would go out to like the body paint events, and it would be her and I taking a picture with, like the women that were
The model?
the models, yeah, in body paint.
That's like going to Disney World and being like, why'd you take a photo of the pretty
Right.
princess?
Well, especially because I was friends with some of these people too. So this was like, and so, yeah, they got into her head about it though. So it was really tough. But anyways, she and I have remained very good friends. Like, to the fact that we chat constantly. We're always like, we constantly we'll talk on the phone whenever like I'm driving. She's usually one of the first people I'll call, and we'll talk. And she had met somebody, seems really good for her, and they flew to Hawaii and got eloped, or got eloped. They eloped and got married. It was supposed to be a pure elopement, but then she ended up telling enough people that like family flew out and stuff like that. But it's still like a destination wedding.
Not a bad place to elope, though.
No, not at all. And everything looks like it went off without a hitch. She was sending me photos throughout the whole event, and it looks great. And yeah, so I'm really happy for her, and it's really sweet. And I think that she is seems very good with this guy, and I hope that she's happy. But it is weird now to have like another ex who's like actually married. And I was thinking about how many of my exes are married.
I was going to ask you, yeah, how many?
Because, yeah, I mean, other than Tinkerbell, she's not. But of course, Dirty Dancing got married, but that was a whole weird thing where she got married. So, spoiler alert for people who, aren't caught up, who are like listening to both new episodes and old episodes. But, she got married, and then there was, I mean, my ex-wife is remarried, and my ex that got mad at me because I talked about the one that lived in Sanford, that one who then became. She and I were good friends. We go out drinking. She would still come over, clean my house once a month and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She remarried her. She married her ex. So like they're married now too. So like there's a lot of them that are married now. And here,
what do you consider an ex, though? I mean, I only, yeah, that is
by
true.
myself in a cabin. But
okay,
what do I consider an ex?
Emphasis on crazy. Yeah, because I'm thinking about exes, but I only really have 4 or 5 to really consider an ex that I actually dated long term, versus if I look at all the guys that I've dated, there's a lot who are married or engaged or have kids now.
Yeah, I don't think like someone you just went on a date with. I don't consider those exes, but like people that you actually, like dated for any period of time. So like it would have to be at least a few months of dating at the bare minimum for them to be an ex.
I really think I only have, oh, that's a lie. I have 2. I have 2 people who are married of the 5.
I probably only have 5 or 6 actual exes in that way.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not. But yeah, so no, she's married, and it was cute, and it's nice because I had this moment a while ago where I was like, do I still have feelings for her? Like, am I still friendly with her and care about her because I'm still attracted to her? And then we both had a wedding that we were doing. I was officiating, and I got her hired as the bartender because they needed a bartender. And it was the first time I'd actually seen her in a couple of years. And like, see, because we talk on social media, but we're like having and seeing her in person and realizing, oh no, the chemistry is gone now. Like it was an interesting revelation. I think I even talked about it when that happened. I'm way back, but it was a good revelation for me to be like, oh no, okay, no, I just kind of love her as a person, and I'm happy for her, and there's nothing there beyond being a friend. And so that was a good feeling to have, to not wonder if I'm being disingenuous when I like care about her and I'm there for her. So
well, that's good.
Yes.
Well, I think we've covered X's, flies being down, and whatever else the fuck, me vomiting. So
X's, flies, and V's, vomits. And we'll be back with the topic du jour after this short break. All right, Sarah. Non-sexually speaking,
Mm-hmm.
Is social media bad for relationships?
No.
I mean, I
No.
agree.
And sexually speaking, no. I don't know how that would be sexually speaking, but no.
Well, yeah, all the social media about gray sweatpants, I guess,
I guess, or even the thought pictures or any bathing suit pictures, I still don't think social media is bad for relationships.
Yes, it took me a
That's
second. By
my
the way,
first thought.
you said thought pictures, and I thought
You
I was
thought
like
thought
I
leadership,
was like, I
not
think I was like thought
THOT?
bubbles. I was like little bubbles where people like think. I was like thought pictures, and then I tilted my head like a thought bubble,
And then you understood what I
then I
meant.
meant you meant thirst traps type things. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people think social media is bad for relationships. It's I feel like it's the same people who say that like dating apps are bad for dating, which it's because
It makes your life easier, but okay.
yeah, I feel like there's a large group of people who view it negatively because they've had negative experiences, and so I thought we could talk about social media and like what are when is it negative, when is it positive, what do you do if it becomes negative, things like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and before we get started too, just thinking from my answer is immediately no when I think about this. I go, it's only bad if you have some kind of toxic personality or are really insecure. I think from all the stories I've heard about people complaining about significant others and their social media, a lot of the reason why it's so bad for their relationship is because someone's obsessing, someone's insecure, somebody's toxic.
I agree. I would say that it's almost always either or you've had an experience that made you like this insecure like previously that maybe you're still carrying with you, like so either you're carrying this baggage of insecurity that you haven't gotten rid of. And I had a friend call me the other day that she was like, I just don't know what to think. My boyfriend deleted his Instagram, or he lost access to it. He's an idiot, by the way. Her boyfriend is not an idiot.
Okay.
He's just one of those kind of dumb guys.
Things just happen to him and bad things happen.
Yeah, like he like managed to lose his phone. He never has it on him and stuff like that. And like his Instagram somehow lost access, so he just stopped posting on it. And then he went and created a new one so he could post occasionally. And in creating his new one, realized he had an old one before that he hadn't even remembered that he had forgotten about.
What the fuck?
So then she called me and she's all like, should I be worried? Like, he just messaged me from his old account. So like, what is he doing on his old account? Is he talking to girls? Like, is that why he's on his old account? And I was like, no, dummy just probably logged into that one by accident and didn't realize he was in that one and sent you a message. And she's like, well, he doesn't even follow me on that account. So should I bring that up? He's like, he probably doesn't realize he doesn't follow you. Just typed in your username and sent you a message, And like, she's like, so like over obsessing. And I was like, no, it's very easy when you're in Instagram to accidentally switch accounts. I've done it before on Dating Kind of Sucks.
Oh, when I'm drunk, I worry I post on business accounts on my stories. I'm like, fuck, did I drunkenly post a story on my company page? I mean, it can easily happen.
Oh, we Dating Kind of Sucks follows people that we like, there's no reason for us to follow because they're friends of mine, because I saw their account. And I was like, why am I not following this person? I thought I was following them. So I would follow them.
You did that? I was wondering.
So many times. I've done that. Okay. I've done that 100 times probably, which is like, and then I was like, oh, I'm on Dating Kind of Sucks account, not my main account, and so I didn't realize. So yes, like it's easy, but she's so insecure. And so she just, I think in her world, she would much prefer that he didn't have social media at all. But it's not because he's doing anything bad. It's because she is like toxically insecure about things.
Yeah, I mean, it does make it easier when you're with someone who doesn't have any social media because like they have it, like Master of None, for example. He has Instagram, doesn't have Facebook, but his Instagram, he has 30 followers. It's all family, probably an ex-girlfriend or two, and then friends. Yeah, I know he has more friends than that, but very small following. And then he hasn't posted since I think 2019.
I don't understand this mentality, by the way.
And he doesn't post anything. The only thing, if you were an ex who wanted to stalk his profile, the only thing you could figure out about his life and what he's doing right now is through his tagged photos, because my sister tagged him in a photo of our trip to Mexico. That's the most recent thing that you would actually see a photo of him and go, wow, his hair's different. Wow, he's in Mexico with a bunch of girls and I don't know who they are. That's it. He's literally doesn't exist, but he doesn't mind it. And honestly, he looks at my shit and then there's nothing for me to look at his, so I get no updates, but it's fine, whatever. I call him instead.
And he answers most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time, as long as you're not texting him, because we know he doesn't reply to those.
Right. I mean, if you're scrolling on, okay, say you're messaging someone on a dating app and then they have their Instagram attached or whatever. If I run across someone who doesn't have a big social media profile, or they do, it doesn't really make much of a difference to me. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
That's not a factor of, oh, I really want to date them because they have 10,000 followers, or, oh, I don't want to date them because they have 30 followers. That really doesn't mean shit to me. But for some people it does.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it is, and I'm the same. I don't care if someone has a social media or not. If they, if they don't have a big presence, it doesn't matter. But I have seen that where someone says don't date. I've seen these fucking male dating coaches on TikTok say don't date women with a big social media following because they're all about the attention. And they're not looking
fucking jobs.
Yeah, or their jobs, or they just, or it's this whole the concept of pretty privilege too, where like men will sometimes be like, it'd be so easy to be a woman on social media because you get hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're not really saying, yeah, you're getting objectified by all of these people who are following you simply because you're pretty. It doesn't mean you're getting any validation for your actual content. You're getting followed just for the pure sake of how you look, which is not good, and most people don't want that type of attention.
Right, because then your DMs are all guys saying, oh, I think you're so hot, love me, whatever, I'm obsessed with you. And then you end up having to block creepy men, and it's more of a hassle.
Right. Or what's your Snapchat so I can send you a dick pic, basically.
Yeah.
So yes, social media has it has plenty of pluses and minuses. Let's talk a little bit about, I would say there are some negatives to what social media can do to a relationship, not having social media, but just the existence of it in general. If you're too obsessed with being on there all the time, it gives you less time with your partner. But that also happens with video games, or someone who reads a book, or whatever, someone who's obsessed with going to the gym every day, those are all things that also decrease your time with your partner.
Right, because that's a personality trait, like an addictive personality trait that could make it a negative if they become super fixated on, I need to make 10 TikToks or post and see.
That's a tongue twister.
I don't know why it was, but it was. Yeah, I need to make all these TikToks, and then I need to make sure I get these likes, and I'm obsessing and whatever. It's one thing if it's your business. It's another thing if it's just in your free time and you're sitting in bed scrolling for hours, obsessing over things. And yeah, that's definitely a negative.
Exactly. I think that's something that you have to really, really be, very focused on, understanding that if your time is spent and you're on your phone, there's two types of quality time you can spend with your partner. Sometimes there is that parallel play where you're on your phone, they're playing a video game, or they're watching something that you don't really care to watch, but you're spending time in proximity, and that's okay. That's not unhealthy. But if you're doing it and ignoring your partner, then you can also ignore any miscues, if they or maybe trying to
They're talking to you and telling you a story about their day, and you're just sitting on social media not paying attention.
Yeah,
that's not helping your relationship.
Right. I mean, that's like half of our FaceTime calls where you're already on your phone while we're FaceTiming, and I realize that I'm just talking to myself, and I can literally be saying anything, and we're not even in a relationship. But I mean,
I would catch if you said something stupid. I am listening.
Yeah, you are listening. I know sometimes, but you can miss cues. That's the thing, is you miss subtle cues too, your body language of your partner that you wouldn't have missed if you weren't attached to your phone. And like we said, it can intensify jealousy. It can, and it also, but a big thing that I think social media, one of the negatives that can come from it, are these negative comparisons.
I mean, that's that's been talked about forever now, of Instagram versus reality, and more creators trying to be more honest and be more transparent about how they took photos, or just, I think it's an Instagram problem more than a TikTok problem, but it's more people being transparent about how they were feeling when they posted a caption a couple months later, or people are trying to definitely turn it around so it's not as bad as it was. But that is still an issue of seeing someone who looks super skinny with a big ass, and you're like, is that natural? They post workout videos, is that natural? But I don't know.
Well, and also for the boomers out there too, it's it happens on Facebook all the time as well. Because people post things that are more permanent, but it's this idea that when we're happy we tend to post more, and when we're like depressed, we tend to scroll more. And so it's this idea that when you are happy, you're posting these positive things. You're not necessarily posting the negative things all the time. And so, like happy moments, happy relationship stuff, etc. And so when you're depressed about things, you start scrolling. And so you're seeing these happy moments at your lowest point. So you see the highest when you're at your lowest. And so then you have FOMO, and then you have, like you start to compare yourself to those other people, even not understanding that their lives are just as up and down as everyone else's.
Yeah. And then you have the people who do it for a living that can post no matter how they're feeling and aren't transparent about the happy or sad. So you think that their life is just perfect.
Right. Yeah, they do. The ones who manage to do that are impressive. I know people like that. Like there's this one blogger that I had an affair with a while ago. I mean, I was actually not married. She was. I think I told the story when I drove over
You've
to
told
Canada.
us,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
basically. But and she constantly posts like the upbeat things and stuff like that, but I know the reality of her life, and it's always so interesting because like her life seems amazing on Instagram and Facebook, and the reality of it is miserable, and it's just,
Fuck.
yeah.
How would you, I mean, I wouldn't want to live my life like that though. That's just so, it's just more draining knowing that your life sucks and then you're posting all these great photos and your life doesn't even live up to that and you're not excited about any of those things that you're posting, but you just always live
Well,
in
she gets to have
pretend.
plenty of fun, just without her husband. Like whenever he's not around is when she has fun. So then she gets
Ah,
trips places. She goes to like she lives in Canada, so she like goes to Miami, and like because places will pay for her to go there and write about them and stuff like that. So she managed to turn this fake happiness into escaping from her reality of her life. So that works.
damn. Well, yeah, I mean, social media is not going anywhere. So I think it's just knowing there are negatives to having it. But I definitely think there are a lot of positive things that social media brings to the table. Obviously, connecting with people
Uh huh.
and just a sense of just I enjoy my time on TikTok versus hate scrolling or things like that,
Right.
where
Right. Right.
it is kind of a fun pastime. And I like saving TikToks for Master of None to watch that they'll end up hating. And then I laugh about it and he just thinks I'm stupid and it bonds us. I don't know. I mean,
That's fantastic.
those are the fun things about social media. We're like, oh, I saved all these TikToks for us to watch together. And he's like, fuck. But it
It's like
brings that fun
TikTok TV
dynamic.
time
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
two of you. It can, and it actually, yeah, you're right. It can be a connection. It can be something that if you can share it, it can be great. It also can be a good way to share relationships and share how your life, like share with other people. Like you do build connections with other people through social media as well, as long as they don't become unhealthy connections, and that's okay. And that's the kind of that fine line too.
Yeah, I mean, there are people, I'm sure everybody has followers or people they've connected with on social media that they've never met in real life, but you message them a couple of times a week back and forth based on their content, and you have this relationship just through Instagram DMs or TikTok DMs or whatever the case may be, where if if they were in your city, you would want to meet up with them, and like Adam has.
Yes. Yeah. Plenty of times. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
been great. Some of the closest friends are ones that I have only maybe met a couple times over the years as I've traveled to their town, or we were at the same town for a conference or something. And I think a huge benefit of social media is that it expands your perspective and it gives you the idea
It
of
could. It could.
what
I don't
can.
want I don't
Okay.
want to go back to the negative because some people do go down rabbit holes of following more down the algorithm. But if you're in the mindset of wanting to learn new things and getting a new perspective, it definitely could.
I found, and this is maybe very TikTok centric, but that I have had a lot of women sometimes who have commented and said, I didn't really think about that being inappropriate or this being unacceptable behavior until I saw your video on it, and so now that makes me realize that, that I'm putting up with something that I shouldn't put up with, and I think that that's been good for a lot of people sometimes is getting to see what other people's relationships are like, the reality of them. So and
Mm.
TikTok is better at showing real things, like you said, that Instagram is, and then Facebook is, and so sometimes people get to see a lot more reality, and they see, oh, I'm not alone. This happens to everybody, or that behavior is not acceptable at all. This person's gaslighting me, or whatever, too.
That's true. Yeah, I think definitely, if you're looking for a place for realness, TikTok is the place where people will just sit in their car and cry and tell you a story about how something happened. And you're like, fuck, you would never get that on Instagram, because Instagram would be like, my life is perfect. I just had the best breakfast. Da, 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 da.
That is very true. Have you noticed? It really is. So you've got Facebook, which is like, I feel like memories.
I just update my family. That's it.
Yeah, it's like memories for it's like an old album. It's kind of Facebook, and then you've got Instagram, which is like kind of day to day, like the positive things in life. Although now with everybody sharing constant reels annoys me, but otherwise, like it's just it's cool photos and cool experiences. Is kind of what Instagram kind of is: cool food, cool experiences, and then Twitter is like your therapy. Like people who
I see news as Twitter, but I use Twitter more for news.
Some people I follow, like they tweet every little thought like it's live journal, and like dark stuff and fucked up stuff and sexual stuff, and they just don't have enough followers that they care about. Like they just like this is their little world. And sometimes when people bring in like mention their tweets in real life, they're like, oh, I pretend that doesn't exist. That's just I just put that out there.
How can you do that? Oh no.
And I feel like there's a lot of people under the age of like 30 that use Twitter purely as their therapy. It's just like this dark place for them to like just shit out in the void whatever they want to put out there.
If they have a thought, it's getting tweeted.
And they'll just put it out there. And then every now and then one of those goes viral and people because it's just like it resonates with so many people. And then we have TikTok, which is now more like just like a constant video diary of people's lives, like a reality of lives. And so it's really interesting how that kind of all cycles around. So there's different aspects of each thing that you can kind of like focus on if whatever you need in your life for to fulfill yourself with social media.
If you came across someone's dating profile and they had social media, they had their social media channels linked, which would be the first one you would look at?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to see how they present themselves when they're presenting themselves in their best light. Like that would be the first place I would check out is what's their Insta, what do they post when they're like, this is how I feel when I'm the happiest and the prettiest and the sexiest and all that. And then I'd go look at the other stuff. But I want to see how they feel when they're pumped about themselves.
See, I think I would do TikTok because I would want the unstripped, more real version of them. And then I would probably go to Instagram, because my assumption is a lot of people who have a dating profile, they're using their Instagram photos for that dating profile.
True.
And I'm not going to get a lot of new content, especially if they don't have a large following. They probably don't have a lot of photos on there. So I would prefer to go to TikTok if they had everything linked.
Honestly, I think for women, that's actually a better idea anyways.
Yeah.
You go to TikTok, you see what videos these people are posting if they post videos, because
that'll give you a good idea if they're misogynist or not.
Yes, exactly. And you also look at who they're following.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point.
If you find out that they're everyone they're following is I saw one account where this guy got called out because everyone he's following is like under 16. All under 16 girls, like creepy shit, and that's all he follows. And so there was like someone calling him out, like, you say you're not a creep, but how come everyone you follow happens to be an underage account, and so things like that. It can tell you a lot about a person. And a lot of guys just don't think about that type of stuff either. They don't understand maybe how easy it is to find like little details about them like that.
See, I don't think I've ever gone to that length of looking at who they follow. It's more of their captions and any comments that they post under people responding or things like that.
Yes, yeah, how they reply to people is very important. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so there's social media has that benefit, which I don't think we like, is that you can use social media to before the relationship to find out more about people, to find out how they approach things.
It's like Googling them, but even more specific.
Yes, even more specific. So I think that in general, the only people, like you just said, the only people who really don't like social media and technology at all, the people who are like, well, technology just ruins relationships, are usually bad relationships.
Always bad relationships.
Yeah, it's abusive people who don't want their partner to find out that there's help out there, or that they don't have to put up with their shit,
or they can meet other people who are more like-minded. That might be a better, not even just in a relationship a better fit, but also friends that would be a better fit, that could eventually move them away from their toxic relationship.
Yep. Or serial cheaters who don't want who are projecting. They're like, well, I mean, it just opens up your options, and then you think you have more options, and those are people who usually are cheating, and they just they're saying that because they know that they always want more options. But that's or people who have, like I said, insecurity or jealousy issues because of past trauma, which means maybe you should go to therapy before you should be in a relationship. Like that's a baggage that I think people really need to deal with before they bring someone else in a relationship, anyways.
Agreed. Well, we can finish up this list and talk about other social media don'ts if you're in a relationship or dating when we get back from this break.
So here, I would say, are some of the maybe toxic behaviors that you can see with social media. And some of this we talked about, but first of all, how much do we hate the people who, like I said, who constantly are like, "Oh, I love him so much. Oh, this man is everything to me. Oh, he's so wonderful," and they post constantly like this.
Bitch, we know you're unhappy. We know
Exactly.
you're fucking unhappy, crying, writing that fucking post.
It is always projection every single time that it is this, because it's always one-sided. It's always someone writing this about someone that doesn't seem to ever reply to anything or respond either, and then that they're miserable on the inside. So please don't use social media to project and to take your unhappiness and try to turn it into like you're trying to, like, what if you put it out there, it's going to become true? Because no, it's not going to. Just leave him, girl, leave him.
Yeah, why are you trying to pretend things are better than what they actually are? Just to prove to people? Why are you trying to prove anything to anybody anyways? You should only be posting things that are genuine to begin with.
Yep.
And it's not a bad thing to be vulnerable on social media and say, I had a tough day today or whatever. I do think, especially, I don't know, younger in career wise, I was really afraid to post and be really authentic because I was afraid my career was going to be fucked up if I said something negative, and I had to be this perfect persona online so that I could move up in the corporate world and whatever. But that's not what people resonate with, and it's not helping you either if you're in bad situations, like in a toxic relationship or something.
Yeah, because if you are a toxic relationship and all you're doing is posting loving stuff, then when you actually have problems, people aren't going to believe you a lot of times. Like, oh, you just posted about how much you love him and how he's the most amazing man. What do you mean he beats you? Why would you never, like, you never said anything about that? Like, and I know that you should never, like you should believe people when they say those things, but sometimes it can be hard when you see them post constantly just aggressively about how much they are, they love this man and they're amazing. And I know it's so hard. It's so hard to see.
But let's also talk about the people who post about their negative relationship on Facebook all the fucking time, saying things aren't working out, things are terrible, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just reading it going, bitch, do you know how many fucking people are seeing this shit right now? I feel embarrassed for you. Why would you post that out there like that?
Why are you with them? Like, why are you with
dump him before you write that fucking Facebook post and hit post? What the fuck?
Yes, absolutely. And let me make sure that I say this too, that I understand that if you are in like an abuse survivor and if you're with someone abusive, it can be hard to escape from that. That's not the situation like that I'm talking about. I'm talking about
we got in a fight, Danny and I got in a fight tonight, and we still love each other and we're sticking together for the kids, but blah blah blah. And they use it like a live journal and they just post their problems. Really, no one fucking cares. But now you have the whole neighborhood going, what's going on with them, and no one's gonna be rooting for you either. I don't know. Don't bring people that deep into your shit. Just break up with them.
Just break up with them. Exactly. Just end it, and you'll be happier. And so then, of course, I feel like that, and I feel like that's usually women. Not to I don't want to
I've seen more women than men.
I'd say it's more women that do that, more women that post the, oh, I love him so much stuff, and more women that do all post very positively when things are bad at home. And then I think what men tend to do that's toxic on social media is you'll find the men commenting inappropriate shit on people's stuff, not realizing how easy it is to trace it back to them, like on Instagram posts or on TikTok or things like that, just the grossest stuff, or they'll DM the people, not realize, then when their DMs get posted, they get, oh my God, you're going to post my, they'll get angry that their DMs are being posted because they'll send shit by social media. And I think that's a very toxic thing that men tend to do.
I mean, women do send or can send nasty DMs to people, but the stuff that gets outed most often definitely is men.
Oh yeah, women can do that too. But like I'm just saying, like an attractive woman on Instagram can post a picture of like, oh, I'm eating my breakfast, and then like a man will comment, "Don't you wish you were eating that off my dick or whatever?"
Yeah, eat my dick. Yeah, pretty much.
And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, we can click on your name and go see that, and then find your name on Facebook, see that you're married, and see how much your wife constantly posts about how much she's in love with you and how amazing you are. So then it all ties together.
Yeah, I don't know why you would publicly post something like that and not just keep it in your head. There's some things when you're gonna post something like that, just keep it in your fucking head. But if you are dating someone who posts bullshit like that under comments, that's probably a sign of, yeah, I don't think I want to be with this person. I feel like more people have issues with men liking photos of other women. And that again, I feel is more of a stemming from insecurity thing.
I agree. And that's always been something like I know that if I dated someone, they would have to be very insecure because one, I have a lot of friends that are sex workers and have either OnlyFans and things like that. But also like I support my friends who post things, like and so like I will like their photos. I will heart react on Facebook to things that they post. It doesn't mean I'm trying to bang them. It doesn't mean I'm doing anything other than just showing them support. And if I was dating someone who had an issue with that, then the issue would be with them, not with my behavior.
Well, yeah, if you have a feeling that your significant other is cheating on you and you're using likes as your trick or your proof to say you're a cheater, there's probably other proof. I wouldn't go fishing for what they're liking, but it won't hurt your case. But I don't know. People just fall down that rabbit hole of really digging into that. And I'm like, if you have the feeling that they're cheating on you, don't go through the trouble of searching through all the shit that they've liked or whatever. Just fucking break up with them. Then if you're not feeling secure about your relationship and he's being a dick about it, it's probably not going to work out anyways. Let's be real.
And if someone actually is cheating and you have to go all the way to likes and who they're liking things of, then they might not be cheating. You might be really projecting at that point because if that's how deep
but
you have to dig to find anything.
You might not need to be in a relationship then. I'm also saying if there's that big of an insecurity issue where you're that deep down the fucking rabbit hole and then you look at yourself going, what the fuck am I doing? You need to evaluate why you're doing that and go, is this even a healthy relationship for me to be in for myself? Am I in a mental space where I can be in a relationship or like what's going wrong with this? Don't just blame it on the likes.
Yes. Yeah, don't blame it. Yeah, that's very true. Because then you're never going to like kind of grow and maybe develop tools to figure out your insecurity issues if you always blame it on the likes.
See, I would like my partner, Master of None. I would like Master of None to be a little bit more active on social media, but I know that's not going to happen. But I always feel awkward when I post a photo of us because he's not going to fucking interact with it or comment anything on it. And I'll be like, oh, I posted a cute photo. He's like, yeah, and I don't fucking care. He doesn't care. And I think early on dating that really bothered me because I wanted him to just show that stupid social media relationship of something. But then I was like, oh, that's just not a dynamic that matters in our relationship. Never mind.
Okay, and I'm torn on that, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah, I am because I think that
he'll like the photo, but he's not going to comment or share it on his own thing or do anything because it's just
but
not
he wouldn't
his
like
vibe.
the photo.
Depends. It really depends because there's sometimes he'll like photos of mine. I'm like, why the fuck were you the first person to like that? And then there's shit that he should like and he just doesn't like it or say anything about it after I post. I'm like, okay, you should have what? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's just one of those things that if I'm dating someone who uses social media a lot, especially professionally like you do, that it would be one of those things that I show my support for you by
giving a like.
By giving likes, because like when you use social media, that's a way to show support is liking and sharing and commenting and things like that. So like even if I have friends that like friends that I have that I like, that's what they do and I try to support them. I try to always I try to always comment. Some people I have notifications turned on just so like if they post something I get a notification, not because I'm trying to stalk them, it's because I want to make sure that they get the support that they deserve. So that's kind of how I always try to see it. So that's why
Master of None's never doing that. He's
I
never
know.
doing that.
But it feels like even though he's not a social media person, he knows you are. So it could be a way to show like support, and it can be a positive thing. That if he's like, oh,
Yeah.
I saw your story, it looked really cool. Like, it's I don't know, it's something that to me would be important. If I know it's okay with you guys, but I'm just saying if I dated someone, like that would be something that I would like need because of
You
how
would
I
want
post.
that. Yeah. Okay. You would want them to like your stuff and
I
comment
want them
or
to see
just.
every fucking TikTok I make and know everything about all the content that I've created. Oh yes, I like that. That's what I would really hope, is
Yeah.
that they would be, oh, I saw your TikTok. Yeah, it was really, it was good. It was funny. Or I saw that comment from that shitty person. Like
But
I want them to be engaged in that.
do you want them to listen to every podcast episode
Oh,
too? I
absolutely.
really.
Yes.
See, I think early on dating, I want that. And now that I'm pretty comfortable in my relationship, I'm like, you don't need to listen anymore. I know he's going to watch my stories because just to check in with how I'm doing. But I, for me, it was more important early on dating that we had that social media relationship on top of the relationship we were building. Now, not so much.
I could see that. I think for me too is that I share what I share with the world and don't want to have to share it twice.
That's fair. That is
So
fair.
like if I'm
Yeah.
sharing it with the world, you are part of the world, so I want you to see it, and then but like if I have to repeat myself, then that's also frustrating sometimes. But that's that might be just me being a pain in
Yes
the
and no.
ass.
Yes and no. But that's also why sometimes I don't want to post on social media because I want to tell my partner instead
Right.
of them seeing it.
That's true. That's true. I can understand that.
My lip is bleeding. Damn it.
All right.
Got so excited. I don't know. I don't know what's
She's
happening.
gnashing her teeth at what's going on.
I don't know. My lip is bleeding though. That's fun.
It doesn't look.
Anyways, it doesn't look like it's bleeding. Oh
It
my god,
doesn't
I
look like
feel
it's
like I
bleeding.
got
All right,
blood in
we're
my
good.
mouth now. Fuck. NBD.
Yes, I know. No big deal. Just bleeding everywhere. It's fine. No, you're good. Um, I think that with the other aspect of social media that I want to talk about before we get into what to do if you have toxic things. So we'll start kind of trying to wrap up the last half of this episode here. Is that developing parasocial relationships or developing any type of relationship with someone through social media, like developing online relationships, it's fine if it's not to the detriment of your in-person relationship. Like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
making friendships.
You can have friends with the opposite sex. You can have friends with the same sex, and it could just be, oh, I follow them on social media, we message, and over the years now we're cool with one another and I like their content. It is what it is. And there's nothing else besides that. And I might meet up with them in person if I ever get the chance. But that's not me trying to cheat on you if it's someone from the opposite sex. That's just me, enjoying my time on social media and making connections.
Yes. And I think that in the blogging world, what used to happen was that you'd have all these bloggers, and usually mom bloggers, that were unhappy in their marriage, but they didn't realize they were, who were blogging about their lives, and then they got to meet like dad bloggers who were also miserable and didn't realize they were, and they would all start to kind of connect, and then have these like social media relationships, and then eventually leave their spouses and or cheat and then not leave, whatever. But it would become this whole thing because they didn't have a healthy relationship, and social media kind of opened their eyes as to what was out there. But if you find yourself craving
Looking.
time, yeah, craving your time with someone else online more than your partner, it's time to talk to your partner. Like it's time to end things or have a conversation.
Yeah, that's not the time to be secretive and go, oh shit, I think I like this person or I like other options that I'm seeing on social media. Yeah, you need to talk to your partner and reevaluate the situation you're in.
Yeah, any type of secrecy is bad. Any type of secrecy with social media, anything that you have to keep secret. Now, that being said, doesn't mean you have to let your partner go through your phone at all times. Like that's not also, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. It's okay to have privacy as well. Like that's very important for people to understand.
It's like, yeah, do you really want to go through my messages of liking and going, oh my God, I love that outfit you wore in that photo? Or, oh my God, I'm going there next week. Me too. Da, 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 da. If you want to go through those
Right.
relationships I have with people on social media, be my fucking guest, but you're just wasting your time.
Well, because I've always felt that too. I'm like, if I have I mean, you can look at my phone anytime you want and go through it. I said, you might not want to see some of the, who knows what I took a photo of. You never
Well,
know.
I can answer to any questions you might have though, and you're going to be disappointed because I trust that you're trustworthy in our relationship and I'm not doing anything shady. So I have nothing to hide. But just because you have nothing to hide doesn't mean you have to give over your phone to
Right.
show someone what you're doing online.
Yes, and it doesn't mean that you have to give up your privacy. You are allowed privacy in a relationship. That you don't consent to, constant supervision and giving up all aspects of privacy in your relation when you enter a relationship. And I think some people feel like you do, though. That's the thing, is I feel like some people feel like when you're in a relationship, then everything that you hold private should be available. No, that's not true.
You're your own person.
Yeah.
Like don't forget that, which also stems into other things we hate about social media, which we'll get into in a second. But
Yeah.
you're your own person, so you should be able to keep things private and just be you online. The people who have to get permission to post certain photos online from their boyfriends, I cannot even imagine living in that kind of relationship and being so manipulated and scrutinized and just watched all the time. How can that, I mean, and then that stems from levels of abuse and other things, that, not trying to shame anyone for if you're in an abusive relationship, but those, when someone starts wanting those levels of control, that's a sign of, oh, long term this probably is not going to work out, because they're showing personality traits that are not going to work long term.
Yes, absolutely. That could be a red flag from the very beginning if someone's trying to control what you post on social media. That really could be a huge blinking red flag. Not the flags don't blink, but you know what I mean.
Flashing red flag.
Big.
I don't know. Those
waving?
don't flash either.
Yeah, they don't flash either.
Waving.
There we go. I would say that some things to do if you're finding that social media is negatively affecting your relationship at all. A few things that you can do is to set some boundaries, set some non-phone time. I think can be very effective.
Oh, see, I'm still thinking. I thought you were going to mention, if from the toxic standpoint, having a social media page with your partner.
Oh, I was gonna
and not being able to be your own person.
Yeah, I have that like a just a final never do this, but yes, never.
I think that's just so important. I don't have an issue, and I know we disagree on this. I don't have an issue if you post your profile picture with your partner, say it's a wedding picture or something like that, and it's not always your photo, but it's temporary, blah blah blah. But when you make Kristen and Dan's Instagram page and it's just you guys living your lives, but I have met people here who have travel blogs and that's their brand, of the two of them traveling. It's not their relationship, but it's the two of them traveling and blogging and doing their own videos, and it's not all of them together all the time. That works. But when it's just you sharing every couple photo you have on your Instagram page, on your shared one, don't do that shit, please.
Yes, no, that means that one of you cheated. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your account is Joey and Jane's Facebook or whatever, then you absolutely, one of you cheated, and this is how you're trying to keep them together. Like keep the relationship together when you should probably just go your separate ways. That's never a way to do social media in any capacity, unless it's professional, like you said, like a professional travel company. That is so true.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't want to forget that, because that's a pet peeve of mine, but more of a pet peeve of yours. I'm like, wow, Adam hasn't said anything about that.
I have that kind of as like a what not to do at the very end. Like I was just going to be like, try to reiterate it, but I think that's good to bring it up because it's very important. And then I was going to say, like, but if you're finding these toxic things, other than that, because if you do that, you should just get off social media and break up with whoever you're with. Like if you do a joint account, that's just like it. Just, you're not allowed to be on social media anymore, in my opinion. You should have all rights revoked. Yeah, but setting boundaries and kind of like and like time when you're gonna have non-phone time, and just like, hey, let's just spend time together, put our phones down, and like spend quality time together can be good, as long as if your job or your whatever relies on being on social media, that it's okay to check in on it occasionally. Like, okay, I can put my phone down, but I have to check because I have to make sure that I'm keeping up on things. And
if you're on call, that's like being on call. If you have to respond to certain things, then that's different, being a social media manager versus you can't get off your phone at dinner and you're missing out on quality time with your partner because you're just so obsessed over making more content or keeping up with all the trends so that you can post more content. That can be problematic.
Yes, very problem. So so it's okay to set an actual boundary. Be like, okay, from 6 to 8 is no phone time, and it's quality time or whatever, and this is when we get together. Or if you watch TV, you're like, all right, phones down when we watch TV together, and we put them in like actual watch television together instead of half on your phone, half paying attention. So that can be a good way to do that.
Yeah, I just think social media in general, if you have issues with insecurity, or if you're manipulative, or you are like just shouldn't be in a relationship, then social media will be a fucking issue for you, point blank.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
And I think it's so funny how this always comes down to this. But this time it was something that I actually like. So like we did research for this and everything, and I found a bunch of articles on it. And it was one of the articles quite literally said to be transparent and honest. And I was like, yes.
Wow.
Like, yeah, imagine that. Like that's one of when it comes to social media, if you're having issues, transparency and honesty is always important. That if you're being secretive about anything, there's a problem. That if you can't talk about it with your partner, that's an issue. So you need to be able to talk about it with your partner.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, social media, I mean, I didn't create it, but I don't think social media was originally intended to be a negative experience for people. So if it is, that's something worth talking about with your partner.
Right, because it's just a tool. It's just a way to communicate. And so it can't by default be good or bad. It is a means of communication. And so it's how you use it. And so if you're using it in a way that tends to support a toxic relationship, then that needs to be addressed, with your partner. You need to get away from that situation as however you can.
And if someone says, I won't date you because you have a big social media following, you're not missing out on dating them.
Yes, exactly. You're not missing a damn thing. And so then there's this one last thing I want to talk about, and that is that we occasionally see women dating a man who like just doesn't do social media, and not like Master and
not like me,
not like but like he just doesn't do it at all. And I think that can be a red flag. Not the situation like yours where he is on social media, he will like your things and stuff like that, but a lot of times there are men who use it as a way for them to have hidden relationships. First of all, like they don't do social media, but somehow they manage to know everything you're doing because they're like they have an account they don't tell anybody, or they
well, that's transparency not being there though.
That's true. That's very true. Or they refuse to allow you to share photos, the control issue, like post photos of them. If they try to say things like, it's nobody's business about us, which is a very common thing to say, like for that type of guy.
For you not to post photos of you two together.
I don't want you posting.
Oh, because he's fucking cheating on you, honey. That's why.
It's nobody's business about us, because they say it like it's somehow putting on social media makes it everybody's business. And the fact is they're projecting because they don't want anybody to know about them. So that is a huge red flag in those situations. And then there are situations where somebody's just not on social media. They just like are very much off the grid in that situation. And those aren't red flags. Those are just weird people that I don't understand.
I can understand taking a social media break and deleting your accounts and just not being
deleting your accounts. What the fuck are you talking about?
I've met people who have just straight up deleted their accounts and just been feeling very unhappy from social media because it affected their lives so much that they went from one extreme to the next, and they actually ended up being fine and they still don't have social media accounts. I'm not saying that's what I or you would ever do, but there are people out there that you could come across that don't have any social media. They did the thing. They realized it wasn't good for my lifestyle, and now they're living without it, and that might not be problematic.
Then, yeah, I guess that's fine. I think you're just a weirdo.
You wouldn't date anyone like that, but
I mean, I would be hard for me to date someone like that because so much of my life is social media based that I would want to share that with them, and not being able to share that with them would be difficult. That's very true. Like I'd not be able to share any aspect of that. It's like dating someone who's not an iPhone user. Like it'd be so much.
Now, see, Master of None's not an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
We work out. It's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, a couple people that recently that I've matched with on Bumble and stuff are like, I get the green bubble, and then I was like, no, I don't want to talk to them anymore.
And they feel the same way about iPhone users, though. They're like,
they don't
you
know.
have
the
shittier quality. I think they can tell.
No, because iPhone you can tell because it's blue to blue, so because of iMessage. But there's no way for an Android user to know what kind of phone you have.
Oh, well,
so yeah,
I know that Master of None's an Android user because I can't just FaceTime him whenever the fuck I want. Right. And I can't text him right now because I'm off airplane mode bumming Wi-Fi for the whole month. So
yes, exactly.
That's the only annoying thing. And then when he shits on me that his phone is better because it has this, and this, and Then I upgraded my phone and said, actually, mine's better now.
Yeah,
but that's just because I hold on to phones for a very long time. Anyways.
Yes. So people with no social media are weirdos. End of statement. I'm not going to retract that.
Just if you shouldn't be in a relationship, that's going to be well known if you have issues with social media with your partner or dating early on. It will be known. So
that's great. So, and if you don't have social media, you're probably not listening to this episode, so it doesn't fucking matter. And you're not gonna.
That's also true.
You're not gonna follow us on any of our links. But if you do have social media, you can watch this episode on YouTube at youtube.com/datingkinda-sucks.
You can follow us on Instagram at Dating Kinda Sucks or TikTok. For Adam, it's at Adam Heavitable. For me, it's simply Sarah G _. You can also email us. I was going to say 5-star review, but you can also email us if you don't use social media. Email us your thoughts about social media at datingkindasuckspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, you can support us for $5 a month at Patreon, patreon.com/DKS podcast. You can follow on Spotify, and I think Spotify now has a rating system. If you do see that, we'd love for you to rate us on there. And we were trying to get 300 ratings and reviews, and we managed to do that. We were hoping for the end of March, and we did it. So now our goal is 400. So if you have a chance,
okay.
if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and review so we can continue to grow on there. That would always be fantastic.
Do you hear the singing? There's like fucking karaoke right now.
I can't hear the singing, no.
Oh my God, this guy's butchering the shit out of it. Anyway.
If you've been enjoying this entire episode, even though the audio quality is not 100%, thank you for bearing with us. Sarah,
we should have said that at the beginning, but it bothers the shit out of me that I'm not back home in my little studio. I'm at this fucking co-working space in a fucking vacuum of a room that
It'll be fine. Everybody will still love the episode, but thank you for bearing with us and bearing with the not high quality audio that we might have issues with. But we will be back with a new episode soon, and thank you for listening.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we get no luck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yuck, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.